getting ready to make a super cute holiday soap, and I have half my stuff ready to go. I still need to separate out my lye, so I'll cut over and do that here in a second before we start. But I'm going to be making a Rudolph soap, so I have these cute little noses, and I'm going to be using, it's going to be kind of 2 colors of brown. So I also have these cute little eyelashes that I'll stamp with later and then paint them in, probably with a gold mica. I'm going to be using Lingonberry Spice from Brambleberry, and that does discolor to a, I think it's a tan or light brown. And I'm going to use some cocoa for the bottom layer. So I want to have just a bottom layer that's going to be a little bit darker. I'll have the nose placed on there, and then I'll pour the top layer, which will discolor to that lighter tan, and then maybe do a little bit of swirl on the top. I don't want to do a whole lot of stuff to the top or anything because I want it to focus just on the simplicity of being just a really cute reindeer with that red nose. Now this is the LCP light cold process melt and pour, and I don't have my color out. Where's my notes? I used red mica from Brambleberry and ruby red mica from Nurture Soap Supply. So it's really kind of a pretty, kind of a cranberry red. But anyway, this embed can cause problems. Number one, you don't want to gel it because it can melt your embed inside your soap with the MP LCP, even if it's an LCP. LCP, when I say light cold process, it's not supposed to sweat like a typical typical melt and pour, because you do have to wrap those. So these are not supposed to sweat like an MP does. But when you put it in your soap, it can melt down, and that's not what you want to happen in your soap. So I am not going to be gelling this because I usually do. So once I'm done making it, it's going to go straight into the fridge for a couple hours, and then I'll bring it out, because when you refrigerate it or freeze it, it stops that saponification process or slows it down. So I still want to be able to cut it and all of that. The other issue with the LCP is sometimes it can be super brittle. I had made a Frankenstein soap, and the eyes were super brittle. For some reason, one batch of the clear was super brittle, and then the white was not. So I don't know if I just got a bad batch or what. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen here, but I'm gonna maybe anticipate it once I go and cut it. But you can clean it up. It's not a huge deal. It's just kind of an inconvenience. So you can clean it up later. It's still gonna be totally fine soap. So I'm gonna go and get my lye separated out, and then we'll come back when it's time to pour.